And just like that, we are live. Happy New Year, everybody. It is January the 2nd. It is Thursday, the first Thursday of 2025. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Oh, it's 5 o'clock here in Lakewood Ranch. Glad that you guys are joining us. Do me a favor, drop a comment down below. Let me know where you are watching from. Did you have a good New Year's, nice Christmas, happy Kwanzaa, happy Hanukkah? I know we did. Got to see the family, which is really fantastic. And yes, super excited for 2025. The mantra for the new year is changes. Man, there's going to be a lot of changes across the board in real estate. But first of all, let's talk about the live stream. There's definitely going to be some changes to the live stream. We're going to start bringing on guests. I got a special guest today, super excited. And real estate agents from all over the country, maybe even all over the world. I know agents all over the place. And it's going to be a little less educational. Of course, we're still here to answer those questions that you have about Sarasota, Lakewood Ranch. But we're going to kind of bring back something that we did on Maui in Hawaii, which is where we moved from before moving back here. And is what Hawaiians do every day, and that is talking story. That is just talking conversation. Some of it's going to revolve around real estate. Some of it might not be real estate related. But we're just going to talk and have a conversation. So we're hoping that you're going to join us. Do drop a comment down below. We're always intrigued by to see where people are watching from. Are you from Florida? You out of state? Maybe you're from Canada, thinking about making your way down to this area. And then our regular weekly videos that we're going to do, we're going to drop them on Wednesdays now instead of Tuesdays. And those are going to be a lot less educational. Because here's what I can tell you. I've been in the real estate business for 11 years. Real estate, I'll tell you a little secret. It's boring. Real estate, it's just boring. Educational videos, they're boring. I'd love to tell you about the area, Lakewood Ranch, Sarasota, and I'm still available to do that. My contact information down below. You reach out to me anytime. But the videos that we're going to start doing, they're going to be more lifestyle related. Now, full disclosure, my videos are done for almost all of January. I like to batch them done, so I'm not panicking trying to get the videos done ahead of time. So a lot of those are done. So those are going to be a little more educational. The first one I'm pretty excited about, not educational. But going forward, it's going to be a little more casual, talking about things that I like because I think that I like them. You might like them too, because they say, Tom Ferry says, your vibe attracts your tribe. So some things are not going to change on the live stream. If you've been watching the live stream for any amount of time, I've told you that I watch and follow a lot of real estate agents on YouTube. A lot of them are my friends. I do that for a couple of reasons. One, I want to support their channel. Two, I'd like to find out what is going on in their neck of the woods, because trends are trends. And sometimes a lot of the trends that happen in other states are trends that are happening here or going to happen here. But one of the things that I have noticed, if you've not watched this channel before, a lot of my real estate YouTube friends and other people who are on YouTube that are not real estate agents, when they're doing their live streams, they're drinking water, they're drinking green juice, they're drinking coffee. You know, it's 5 o'clock at night. I cannot be drinking coffee at 5 o'clock at night. I don't drink my green juice at 5 o'clock at night. But what I do like to drink at 5 o'clock at night is bourbon. So one of the things that I am not going to stop doing in changes is starting off my live stream with some bourbon. So Basil Hayden, one of my favorite ones, just got a brand new bottle from my parents for Christmas. This is not the brand new bottle. As you can see, I still have some left, but I absolutely love Basil Hayden. So I'm going to pour myself a cocktail. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. You can feel free to join me if you want. It does not have to be alcoholic. It could be water, could be iced tea, could be green juice, could be coffee. So what I like to do is just kind of share with you a little bit about the bourbon I'm drinking for the week. I'm starting a great little bourbon collection. Now, I will tell you, if you are a bourbon connoisseur, you might not like this Basil Hayden for probably all the reasons that I love it. And if you've never drunk bourbon before, you might like this based on what I'm about to tell you. So Basil Hayden, Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. I'm reading my notes. The aroma, I smell charred oak and vanilla and caramel. Those are the things that I personally like when it comes to bourbon. A little bit sweet. A little bit of dried fruit as well, too. Let's talk about the taste. So good. So you can definitely taste the oak. A little bit of brown sugar. Again, a little sweetness. Little black pepper gives it the spice. And again, a little dried fruit. But it's smooth. And here is why I like it. And here's why I think you would like it. Especially if you don't know anything about bourbon. It's 80 proof. which for bourbon is on the absolute low end. I like that because you don't get the burn. And usually that's why people don't like drinking bourbon, because it has that burn. 80 proof, smooth like butter. So again, I know that if you really love bourbon, I don't know a lot about bourbon. I know a little bit about bourbon. I know more about real estate, but I enjoy bourbon. One of the things I learned many, many years ago when I lived in San Francisco at wine country, I did a tour and the guy said, listen, there's only 4 kind of wines in the entire world. Red wine, white wine, the kind you like, the kind you don't. It's kind of how I feel about bourbon. Either like it or you don't like it. So I know connoisseurs like higher proof because you do get that burn, but it's more complex. Anyway, I digress. Not going to be a video about bourbon, but cheers if you are watching and you have a drink in hand, alcoholic or not, but drop a comment down below. Let me know what you're drinking. So I am super stoked for tonight's video. Not only is it the first one of the year, but I got a special guest. My intention is to have guests every week, every Thursday at 5 o'clock. Today, if you've watched my videos for the entire year, you might not even know that I'm married. Why? Because my wife is never in the videos. And guess what? She's a real estate agent as well, too, a rock star real estate agent. So without further ado, let me bring in my wife, add her to the stage. Boom, there she is, Miss Jessica Miller.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, Jessica. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Happy New Year.
A lovely view.
Oh, thank you. I happen to like it myself.
Yeah, little secret. She's right in the other room. I could have brought her in. We have the space to do side by side, but it's kind of fun to do it in another room. So Jessica also is a licensed real estate agent. And tell the folks watching at home, where are you from?
I am from pretty much everywhere. My father was in the military, so I'm a military brat. I mostly lived in Norfolk, Virginia area and made my way down to sunny Florida for this guy right here that's on the other side. So yeah, I've been all over. I've been around the world too. So
nice. Awesome. And how long have you been in real estate?
I have been technically for almost 11 years as well. I was unofficially an assistant when I was still working at Department of Defense, and then officially came over after that. I was driving 130 miles round trip every day. That got really old. And then you, Adam, said, how about you join me? And I was like, okay. So
yeah, I got super busy in real estate and definitely needed help, and I needed somebody who was organized. And Jessica came on board. I guess she became the licensed assistant like 7 or 8 years ago, maybe 8 years ago now.
Yeah.
Give or take. Awesome. So let's talk some story, right? What do you think about that? Talking story, Maui style.
Yes, Maui style. How's it?
I'm sure just like me, you get to experience lots of people in real estate. It's a very people-y business, and I'm sure you've got some crazy stories. Any crazy client stories? Any crazy experience you want to share that might bring a smile to somebody's face on a Thursday evening or 5-ish?
Yes, definitely. But real quick, we're talking about 5 o'clock somewhere. I'm actually having 221 BC kombucha.
Yeah, local.
It's local from Sarasota. It's blueberry and ginger, and the notes are spicy, of course, from the ginger, fruity from the blueberry, and botanical. It's very good for your stomach. It's fermented. It's really good for your gut biome. So, cheers.
Cheers. Oh yeah, we got that at Detweiler's. If you are not familiar with Detweiler's, you should Google that one. There are multiple locations. We go to the one that is right off of University Parkway. It's kind of in between I-75 and SRQ Airport. Fantastic. Lots of local food. Just a phenomenal place to go. So that's where I picked up the kombucha. It was excellent. I went to go ask somebody, one of the guys working there, say, you got kombucha? He went off on a tangent for like 5 minutes. We got kombucha. It's local. Went on the whole spiel about it. So picked up a bunch of bottles, and yeah, that is awesome.
Yeah, I love my kombucha. So funny story, crazy story, more of a funny story and a little crazy. When I first started off in real estate, during the escrow period, you have to have the termite inspection here in Florida if the buyer chooses to. So you hire the inspector, the termite inspector, which we have a list of great vendors for those. And also in the Bradenton, Sarasota area, there are street names, for example, 44th Avenue Circle East or West. So different sides of the main road, you'll have the same number, street number, east or west. Well, I scheduled the termite inspection. I put down the address. The inspector went to the address that was listed for sale. They got into the home through the Supra, which is an electronic lockbox that is accessible to anybody who's a member of the Real Estate Association of Sarasota and Manatee County. Did the inspection. It came back great. Well, the listing agent for that property called me and said, "Hey, what's up?" I was like, "Who's this?" Well, I sent them to the west or the east. It wasn't the right 44th Avenue East property, but that seller thanked me for a free termite inspection, and I turned around and scheduled the inspection for the right property, and it turned out okay. I was mortified. Like, I'm human, though.
Yeah.
People make mistakes. It just was crazy that that property was also an active listing and they had access, and that usually doesn't happen. So
Yeah, it is one of those strange areas because just like you, I've lived all over the country, and I don't recall seeing that anywhere where you can have a street, 123 44th Avenue Street Circle Northwest, and then also have the same exact street address but northeast.
yeah.
And literally all it is just north of one point or east of one point, west of one point. So it's easy. You can see how that can happen, but the odds of it both being listed for sale and both having a Supra lockbox on it. And
Yeah, I don't think I told you for a while either because I was like,
no, but that's
kill me.
that's it's embarrassing, but not really detrimental at the end of the end of the day. So you primarily work with buyers. I know that.
Yes.
So I was thinking about, like, what questions can I ask my wife / real estate agent too? And I kind of like these talking story where you can kind of share your experience, where it's not so much educational about, living in Lakewood Ranch or living in Sarasota or relocating in Mary or relocating to the area. But I'm sure you've experienced like buyers who are just completely unrealistic. Hey, Jessica, I'd really like to get a, infinity pool with a fantastic view of my backyard, but my budget's $175,000. But yeah, how do you handle that when you get somebody who's just a little unrealistic?
Well, I said, well, anything's possible. If we were to find the perfect home that didn't have that fit your budget, fit all your needs and wants, but did not have that infinity pool, would that be a deal breaker? And could you possibly budget for it later to install? Or possibly I would ask, well, what if it had a spa that had the waterfall on it instead? Because I know that people really love their outdoor living space here in Florida. When the weather is warm, you want to be outside grilling and chilling and swimming in your pool. But I always regroup as well and ask them, has anything changed with your budget that I need to know about? And I usually pull them back into reality because, they want all the things and I want them to have all the things, but we really need to be realistic in the home purchase, especially when it might be like a first time home buyer. This may not be their forever home. Buy the home. You can sell it and buy the bigger one later. Usually a property is an investment. So we're hoping that our buyers always gain equity in their property so they can upgrade later on, So if that's one thing that's going to break the deal, then maybe there's some other issues. I don't know.
Yeah. That's funny. I know it's been a while since I worked with buyers, but a lot of times, I actually even remember on Maui, you get that phone call and hey, Adam, I've been watching your videos and thinking about buying a house. Fantastic. You had a ballpark idea of your budget? Yeah, like 2 or 3. So my eyes light up because I'm thinking $2 to $3 million. I go, fantastic. Give me an idea what you're looking for. Well, it's got to be, a house on the beach. Go, fantastic. I'm not sure I can find you a house on the beach for $2 million. Oh, not $2 million. I meant $200,000. I was like, oh, no.
Yeah, I think I sold one property that was for exactly $200,000. And I was in there and it was great because I helped a buyer who was a veteran. It was the first home moving out of the property from his his parents and the kids and all this were, all in one room. That property, I went in there, I got on my hands and knees, scrub the floors, paint the floors, because the VA loan, there has to be some kind of flooring, even if it's just paint, and also the ceiling. Before it even closed, we went out and bought some scratch and dent appliances because the appliances needed to be in there. We didn't even know if it was going to make it to the finish line. But yeah, whether it's a $200,000 property or a $2 million property, we can definitely help with that. But there's going to be, limitations on what you get for each price point. But very happy to help all price point buyers.
We could probably do a whole entire live stream or video just about crazy stuff that has happened in the let's kind of stray away from real estate because I don't want to be too real estate-y.
Okay.
What do you tell the folks what do you do when you're not being all real estate-y?
What do I do when I'm not real estate-y?
I know you. But
at home
who are like Jessica.
At home, at the non-real estate-y times, I love to cook. You love to cook. So we kind of have to split up the kitchen time. But I just love, I've been cooking for a long time, worked in the restaurant business forever. That's primarily where I learned how to cook. I was never a chef in a restaurant. I've eaten at many restaurants. I've traveled the world, which is another thing I love to do. And just cooking, and then I get inspiration too when I'm out, looking at new construction properties and these big kitchens. And I'm like, oh, I could cook this in this home and, entertain and have family and friends over and parties. But sorry, that was
I love seeing those amazing kitchens at homes too. For those of you guys who don't know, we have a second YouTube channel called 941 Premier Home Tours. That is nothing but home tours. Some of them are listings, some of them are other agents' listings because they know we do a great job of marketing homes and they allow us to come in and do videos there. But a lot of them are model homes. And the great thing about model homes is one, we get to learn the areas and learn the neighborhoods. So we are better educated for you. I know I'm not talking about education, but we're talking about kitchens. So we get to see a lot of kitchens and a lot of really cool design, indoor kitchens, as well as outdoor kitchens. One of the other cool things about Florida is that a lot of homes are set up to have outdoor kitchens. A lot of them are covered, so you can cook all year long. We're talking about piped in for gas. Some of them have refrigerators. Some of them have nice granite countertops, TVs, fireplaces. Yeah, get to see lots and lots and lots of cool stuff.
Yeah, it's definitely fun having that outdoor kitchen and living space, and you don't smell up the whole house, which is great. So
that's a biggie too.
Yeah. What do you like to do?
Air fryer outside.
Yeah. What do you like to do when you're not real estate-y?
Now that we are back in Florida, it's a year since we've been back in Florida. By the way, the first video that drops next week is actually about 1 year from moving from Florida to Maui to back. So I'm really trying to still find my way. I mean, all the things that I like to do are the things that we talked about while we moved back here, because like fishing, like kayak fishing, I am really starting to enjoy a nice, tasty bourbon, although that is not something that I do on a regular basis, but I am starting to get a nice collection, really start to appreciate those things. I'm really enjoying smoking cigars because the interesting thing, so we were on Maui for 5 years. There is, as far as I know, almost no place that you can legally smoke a cigar. I think there's lots of places that you can get away with it, like on a golf course, if you're on a beach not near somebody else, or if you're on your own private property. But unlike mostly everywhere else in the country, there's not places to smoke a cigar. So I found a great place at the Waterside Farmers Market in Sundays on Lakewood Ranch, and a guy from Honduras sells cigars. So I've been really enjoying and appreciate smoking cigars. I too really enjoy cooking. We're actually going to start dropping some cooking videos as part of our regular 941 Lifestyle Group YouTube channel. Not so much about cooking per se, but about being able to cook in Florida. Maybe that's fresh Florida ingredients. Maybe that's just cooking outside. So it's one of those things that I'm super excited for. Another change, 2025.
Yeah, so you're going to go catch us some fish and then you're going to grill it up for us, right?
Yeah, I know. I told myself I am not going to, we record a lot of stuff as we're out and about. I am not going to start recording my fishing excursions. I watch a lot of fishing channels. I watch a lot of people who record their fishing, kayaking trips. I don't want to do that. That's kind of like my time, our time, where I can just fish, not worrying about recording and not worrying about if I got that shot. So it might be the after fact, like this is the fish I caught kayak fishing today, but
Or just yell my name and I'll grab my camera and hopefully don't drop it in the ocean.
Yeah,
and I'll film a little bit.
Some B-roll footage. So I know we were talking stories. So I was working on something a while back about just interesting stories that might be fun for people who don't want to particularly hear about real estate per se, but just kind of real estate kind of overall, less educational. And I think all said and done, I've probably listed and sold a couple hundred properties. I have a story that kind of stuck with me. So we're licensed here for, it's 11 years now. So about 6 years before moving to Maui, and then 5 years on Maui, and then another full year here. So I think I'm going into my 12th year. So all those homes, I think the most interesting story that you and I both have was, I think, our last listing on Maui, which was on what is called Kahekili Highway, also known as Death Road. And if you've been to Maui, it is highly likely that you have never heard of that, nor have ever seen it, because it's one of those areas on Maui that most visitors don't go to, because it is not in a tourist zone, if that's a thing, and it's not near any beaches, and it's not really near anything. And it's also called Death Road for a whole lot of reasons, because it's lots of hairpin turns, and it's very narrow. And if you're coming in the wrong direction and somebody else is coming, you've got to back up on a road that has no guardrails, thus the name. But we had taken a listing on that side, and it's a gorgeous area too. And we weren't concerned about driving there because before moving to Maui, we lived in Mayaka City, which is a drive to almost anywhere. So we had done that for 11 years. So we didn't blink an eye about having to drive so far for a listing.
And you were driving, so.
And I was the one driving, yeah.
I'm not driving that road.
But what I loved about that one is it was a home on acreage. And just so you know, we specialized in selling acreage. We still are on the top of the list. I think the number 6 agent in all of Sarasota, Manatee County, still, even after not been here for 5 years, when it comes to selling acreage, 5 acres, 2 acres or more, 5 acres or more. So it was an acreage property. It was a house on 5 acres at the very top of the neighborhood, which means it was high. I don't know what the elevation was, but 2, 3, 4, 5,000 feet above sea level. I can't remember. But the views were awesome. But the story is that the house had been listed multiple times by multiple agents and always failed to sell. And we love those. Actually, quite honestly, the vast majority of properties that we've ever sold are properties like that, acreage properties and properties that failed to sell the first time. So one of the things that we did to build what is called FOMO, fear of missing out, FOMO, and to build anticipation is that, and because it was a drive to get there, is that we scheduled the first 5 showings by 5 different agents, all at the same time.
Yep,
and I met them. There was a gated community. Met them all in 5 separate cars at the gate, and made them all wait. So now you're eyeing everybody. You're eyeing your competition. You're like, wow, all these people interested in this property, and I took them all up all at the same time. So there's probably I can't remember. It was 15 of us. Even more than that, 15 or 20 of us all at the same time, all their real estate agents, plus all the potential clients, and took them up to this gorgeous property. Drove up the road really slow. Well, 1, because it's a neighborhood, but 2, because the views were just magnificent. It's called Malohia Country Ranches. Google that. It is just stunningly gorgeous. Anyway, long story short, we sold that property, had multiple offers, and it was great for our clients because it had been listed multiple times. And I'm really going to have Jessica vaguely explain who the clients were, because I've got a backstory. I have a backstory after she explains who that it was.
Okay, so I had just really gotten into Instagram. I'm not crazy. Like, Adam is the video guy. I do reels, I do stories, I do posts, and I love to cook, and I watch a lot of cooking reels on Instagram because I love food and I love to get inspiration. And so, I'm checking this one page out. I'm like, oh, the food looks great. It's Asian food. It's like fusion, but it's all Asian food. And then one day she had posted she's cooking on this little tabletop stove, which I call an auntie stove. We have one. I love it. And I look at the video and I'm like, that looks like Camp Olowalu. And I'm like, that is Camp Olowalu. So I had mentioned it to her and we just started chit-chatting, food stuff, food stuff, food stuff. Her husband reaches out to me now on Facebook. Do you want to sell our house? I was like, uh-huh. And then we go up there, we go up there, we interview, we get the listing to help them. And all the videos make sense now because they're in the backyard cooking and they have fruit trees and herbs and just beautiful ocean views and the West Maui mountain views. So that was
That
crazy.
is too funny. Yeah. So the backstory, what I find hysterical, even to this day, I find hysterical. At that time, we had been on YouTube for I think I don't know 8 to 10 years since 2014. So this was a couple years ago, and I went there with my statistics of how I grew my Maui channel from 0 to 1.1 million views and 6,100 subscribers in the matter of 3 years, and I'm ready to go, kind of brag on what I'm doing, not realizing who they were, who she was. But as I'm walking through the house and taking the tour with them, I see the silver plaque. Now, if you're on YouTube or a YouTuber, that's silver or platinum, silver, platinum. I don't know what you call it. But you have to have a lot of views and a lot of subscribers to get that one. Needless to say, after I got the listing, I showed her my little lamb itch, proudly about, like 1.1 million views and 6,100 subscribers. And we both got a kick out of that one. Anyway, that was my funny little story that made me smile.
Yeah, I remember I walked into that room. I was like, this is so funny. But yeah, she's a great chef and a renowned chef too, but we'll keep that part quiet.
Awesome. Well, I had 2 questions that I was going to ask you specifically about real estate while we're on the topic of real estate, but I don't want to get too real estate-y.
Okay, go for it.
But what are the things? Because obviously we have a lot of people who relocate to this area from out of state.
Yes.
And you work with a lot of buyers. Is there anything specifically like you tell your potential buyer clients who are thinking about relocating to this area?
So, when we're doing the interview process, they may or may not choose me, which I hope they do, but I will let them know you really want a local market expert, someone who lives in the area, works the area, does things in the area. So that's number one. Don't choose someone that's like in Tampa if you're trying to buy a place in Lakewood Ranch or Sarasota. I mean, it doesn't make sense. It's not fair either for a client to have to wait around for some agent in Tampa to drive all the way down here. And what if they get stuck in traffic, all that stuff. Second thing is, we're going to have the official buyer consultation. We're going to go over needs and wants. I'm also going to get them in touch with a local lender. So I provide them some options, obviously, because the local lender is going to know the laws, the situations here in Florida. They're going to know the insurance. And because Florida's a little different now, especially with Mother Nature and storms and condos collapsing. So the insurance has changed a little bit, which I have a vendor for that too. But, the lender is going to know all that stuff. So local lenders are very important, I think, anywhere versus using a big box company or just getting a pre-qualification that you can just do online. I mean, anybody can get that. So that lender can get their business and then come to find out they don't get to the closing table. So local lender. Third thing is, I asked them, well, have you ever lived here or just vacationed here? That was especially a huge thing on Maui because living on Maui and vacationing on Maui and living in Florida and vacationing in Florida are 2 totally different beasts. Have you lived through Florida in August? Do you have curly hair? It's hot. It's nuclear hot in August. Thank goodness for AC. So I want to know, you just like Florida, how many times have you been coming here? Do you really want to live in Florida? Because I don't want them to make this decision and they made this huge mistake in their life. I also will request, I want to go see all these homes. Great. Well, when you land, do your thing, get ready, drive the neighborhoods that you've talked about you loving these homes, because that beautiful home might be so picture perfect in the multiple listing service pictures or the other sites that you sent it to me. But you might drive that neighborhood and be like, oh, no, this is not for me. And I don't want to go around wasting their time or anyone else's time, actually. All of our time is valuable if they hate that neighborhood. So the first day is going to be do drive-bys, go tour the neighborhoods, and let's go over your list, pick the ones you really love. And we're going to pick the top 5 or 6, and we're going to break it up. If you have more, we'll check some more out tomorrow. But drive the neighborhoods, definitely. And, do some Googling if you're worried about like crime or schools, because we don't want to steer them. So local market expert, local lender, drive-bys, Google.
Yep. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Let's move away from real estate and go back
Okay.
talk about food, because
Okay.
getting hungry. It's about that time.
I'm hungry too.
Yeah. Now that we're back in Florida, Lakewood Ranch in particular, if you discovered a great restaurant or a favorite restaurant so far that we might want to share with the folks who might like food as well too and want to check out some great little restaurants. I know I got a couple that are my faves.
Yeah, well, I hope I don't pick yours, then you'd have to figure out something else. Well, for happy hour, and I'm not just talking alcohol, which I took a long break from alcohol just to reset the body. 27 days alcohol free. Yay. New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, I had a little bit of champagne, and I know kombucha has a little alcohol in it, but I'm not abstaining. I'm just refraining. Grove on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard and Main Street. They have a great food happy hour. Like their happy hour food is phenomenal prices. I think that's from 3 to 6. Oh yeah, the meatballs are good. They have clams. They have these really great sticky wings are really good, and their drink prices are great. So that's Grove.
Yeah, flatbread too. Right? Flatbread is really good too.
Yes, yes. I mean, their whole menu is really good. They have a little bit of everything. They have also on Main Street is Per Coco's Pizza and Pasta. They opened up a few months ago. Hey. Their food is amazing. And it was another Italian restaurant, but this one I think is going to do a lot better. Love their food. Sushi. I love J-Pan at University Town Center. They've been around for a long, long time. The space is really big. Their sushi is really, really fresh. And they have a great variety. Service is always great. And then we can go shopping at the mall afterwards if we want to. Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, I was going to say, I like Per Coco's. We're kind of particular about, I want to say Italian food. It's Italian food, but they make their own pasta, which is great. And
I love yours the best.
What's that?
I love yours the best.
Yeah. I make a good pasta, but Per Coco's pretty darn good. And of course, I'm born in New York, grew up in the tri-state area, so I'm kind of picky about my pizza. And their pizza was excellent. But honestly, here's why I like it. The food was obviously excellent, but because both of us came from the restaurant business, I've opened up probably 30 or 40 restaurants over the course of 15 years. My last job at the restaurant was regional director for Wolfgang Puck. Jessica's in the restaurant business for 10 plus years. So we like food. We're kind of picky about food. Mm-hmm. But on top of the food being excellent at Per Coco's, the service was just fantastic. We've been there a few times. The server's always been great. The hostesses have been great.
Owner came out.
What's that?
The owner came out both times.
And the owner came out both of the times that we were at the restaurants and remembered us the second time, which I thought was... Mm-hmm. I'm always impressed when that happens because obviously it's a relatively speaking new restaurant. There's tons of people coming in and out. It's a pretty good sized restaurant. So the sheer fact that he remembered who we were, I thought was really awesome. Gotcha. Okay, so I want to switch things up one final time and throw a poll out to those of you watching. Now, if you're watching live, fantastic. If you're watching the replay, that's fantastic as well too. But we want you to comment down below, and we're going to tally results and let you know next week. If money was no option, would you buy a condo or a single family home? That could be anywhere. Any Siesta Key, could be Lakewood Ranch, anywhere in this area. Some people like the condo because, it's maintenance free. You don't have to worry about anything. You don't have to worry about replacing the roof. So if money was no option, single family home, condo. Drop those comments down below. Again, if you're watching live, drop them now. If you're watching this next week, 5 years from now, drop the comment down below. We're pretty good about getting back to you. One of the things that I wanted to make sure that I did starting off 2025, it's all about the mindset, is give you one positive quote before we wrap things up. Now, I got a couple things to go over too, but I found a good one today too by Martin Luther King Jr. This really made me think today too. It says, you don't have to see the whole staircase, just take the first step.
That's a good one.
That was really awesome. So a couple things. One, we do have 2 YouTube channels and a lot coming our way. One that you're currently watching, which is 941 Lifestyle Group. The second one is all about home tours, 941 Premier Home Tours. Do us a big favor. Drop a comment down below, smash the like button. If you want to see more videos like this, subscribe. But the comments and the likes and the shares are great for the YouTube algorithm. It sends a signal to them that you want to see more videos like this. It sends a signal that people might be interested in it, so they'll show it to more people. And we know that the more people we can help with real estate, the more people we can help our community in other ways. So we want to do that. How can the people find you on social media, Jess?
Well, my name is Jessica Miller, and I am on Facebook. I'm on Instagram, the.real.jessica.miller on Instagram, Jessica Miller on Facebook, LinkedIn. I am in TikTok a little bit, but not a lot.
Mostly Facebook and Instagram.
Mostly Facebook and Instagram. I'm talking about food. I'm talking about life. I'm an open book, as most people know, and I'm just talking about life and cooking and having fun and menopause and all kinds of weird stuff. So if anybody wants advice on any of that, feel free to reach out anytime. Like, I'm not afraid to talk about anything. So,
and did I hear you commit to doing another video? Not necessarily the live stream, but one of our other videos that are dropping Wednesdays at 6 p.m.
Yes.
Fantastic. We're going to be talking about cooking. We're going to talk about bourbon. I might be talking about cigars, smoking cigars, and really about the lifestyle that is Florida. Because to be honest, it is all about the lifestyle. You can live anywhere in this country, but people choose to live in Florida because, well, for a whole lot of reasons. So stay tuned, and we appreciate you guys watching. Jessica, thank you so much for joining.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, everybody. And we will see you next Thursday, 5 p.m. live. And stay tuned for those videos. Drop in soon. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time, everybody.
All right. See you later.
See ya.
Bye.